I'm Missy, and this is my 1984 Gremlin Stepvan. It used to be a Mac Tools truck, so it had all the shelving in it, red shag carpet throughout. I found this van at a good price and gutted it and built my grooming shop inside of it, and just groomed out of the van for about a year. And then I came up to a situation where I was paying for a mortgage back east and all the bills, so I decided to gut the van, shrink down my grooming area, and then live in the back. And we did that for about a year. And then once the engine went, then I started grooming in people's homes, and yeah, turned it all into living space. So this is kind of the dinette where we eat. I've got an inverter under there with 4 deep cell batteries that charge off the van as I drive to give me power. I use them mainly for lighting, charging my phone, my laptop. That's pretty much it. I could run a coffee pot off it if I needed to, but I had a little gas stove that I would, like a camping stove, that I would use to cook with. The kitchenette, if you need water, you just use this little foot pump. I just wanted something I guess a little more eclectic, or that I could just put together. I like a rustic look. The water pump came from a marine shop, and I found in tiny building marine stuff's kind of the most, it fits the best because it's small and lightweight. So there's a shelving for books. They're tiny, so you can shove enough in so they don't go flying when you're driving. Everything has latches on it because as you drive, everything likes to open up. So you have to have it magnetic and attached, like spice racks that are magnetic, cup holders. So I used to have it as a grooming van, and so instead of throwing out that material, I just thought it would be kind of fun to take it off the wall that was here and flip it over here as a backsplash to reuse what I already had. The floor I got at the Restore, because everything's pretty affordable there, and in a small space you can usually do pretty decent flooring at a good price. So I just put this, it's easy to sweep out, keep clean. This is the bathroom. Since there was only 2 of us here, we weren't too shy. Yeah, it's just a marine toilet that attaches the top, and it's like a little briefcase, and you can take it and dump it when you need to. And this was our clothing area, which is now storage, but that is all the space for 2 of us to have clothing, so you minimalize a lot. These were in the van, so there's 2 air with vents in them, and yeah, they just add a lot of brightness to it, which is nice because at night you can like look up at the stars. So this was where it kept all the dinnerware, and then I had a dog, or have a dog, so her kennel went here, because I would leave. Oftentimes people would come and stare in the windows and upset her, so I had to keep her safe out of view. And I built my bed and then my daughter's bed with some books and a bunk, which also then gave me storage because I bike a lot. So this is where I would just take my bicycle in and store it and strap it down to the hooks in there. Underneath the bed there's a bunch of storage you can access through the back doors for all my tools and all my work equipment. For lighting, I've got all these little lights that you just tap to turn on, and they provided enough. I found with those, and then I had a larger light system that would just plug into an extension cord off the inverter, and it was bright enough. With the skylights at nighttime, it stays pretty bright in the city. So the fridge I had, it was a small camping one, but mainly I just bought every 2 days, and I wouldn't use things that needed to be refrigerated, which often I found was even better because then you don't waste anything. So when I first set up the van to live in it, I had the grooming in the front. So there was a wall here, and I had the grooming tub and a seat. And in the back where my bed was, underneath it, I had a 500-gallon water tank, and then the generator and all my grooming pumps. And so the back was a living space, and then the front was my workspace. So I decided to change that out, though. The engine went in the van, so it was shut down for 6 weeks. So instead of trying to groom in a van that was broken, I just decided to go in home, and that seemed like a better setup. So once I had that situated, then I just gutted it and rebuilt it into one big living space. The experiences I had from living in the van, whereas you don't spend so much time inside, so every moment you get, you go somewhere beautiful, park, and we would spend hours outside, come in and eat, go to bed, spend a lot of time at the rec center, taking advantage of all the resources here for, the swimming and all those things that you may not use if you live in an apartment, but when you're in a van, they're really nice, the hot tub. So this, you're in maybe 75 square feet. You get quite close and used to sharing your space and being okay with everything. So the benefits financially of being in the van is that you're not spending all your money on rent. So then you have more opportunity to do things you enjoy. The fuel does cost more, but it still balances out because you're not paying thousands in rent. I chose this van because it came up and it was really cheap to buy. They'd need a lot of work and upgrades, but I had looked at other ones, but being self-employed, getting a new vehicle was out of the question. They just don't give small businesses loans for new vehicles when they're just starting. Yeah, so I chose this because I could afford it, and it's worked out well. It's a lot more spacious. There's a lot more ceiling height width than other vans, and it's solid. So even though it's 36 years old, everything's been replaced engine or mechanically wise, and the body's still solid, so it will last who knows how long. 30 more years probably. Challenges that I faced mostly were when it would break and having to be in it, or when I was doing the renovation, the second renovation where I turned it all into living space, having to live in it with a child and still work and drive around, all the construction items that were around, that does make it very straining on living comfortably. But that was it. It was keeping the van moving. So repairs sometimes were a stress, but oftentimes it wasn't that stressful. It was actually the most enjoyable time I think I've ever experienced in living in a space. So I've chosen to leave this lifestyle right now because my daughter wanted something stable and she's starting school. I do plan in the future once it sells to get something smaller and travel more. It's just I couldn't find anywhere to park it, and having a child going to school, it's hard in a space where you need to constantly be at the laundromat and getting her to functions. So it's just a lot on life. I would definitely recommend this lifestyle to everyone. I think that it really shows your strengths, who you can be, and put you through all your paces, so I think you come out with more confidence as a person. I think it strengthens your belief in yourself, and I think everyone should try it. There's nothing else that will test you like living in a van, especially with children. I've had 2 children and 2 adults and 2 dogs in here, and it pushes you, but then you just instantly decide how to make things work. So you decide structure, and it just brings people together. You learn to resolve stuff very quickly. The advice I would give to someone who's thinking about doing this is make sure you do your research. Obviously you can only buy what you can afford, but just YouTube has so much information out there. You can find anything on fixing anything, and just believe in yourself that you can do it, because there's nothing you can't do. And this is an example, because I didn't know how to build a home, and essentially tons of people are building their little homes. The only experience I found hard in van life was dating and telling someone that you live in a van. You get a lot of weird looks because everyone is societally, they have this view of van life people that isn't true, and they don't understand when it's a choice. And so dating was a little tough, but other than that, that's the only experience that was kind of awkward at first, getting used to it. So my personal philosophy on life pretty much is that there's nothing you can't do, and to be present and live in the moment and enjoy everything. So if you have a thought, you want to live in a van or you want to do anything, do it, because the only moment you have is now. Tomorrow is unknown. And just take in the beauty that's around you and enjoy no matter where you are, because you're blessed to be here.
Hey everybody, it's Forrest the Filmmaker. Hope you guys enjoyed that episode of Alternative Dwellings. If you want to see more, playlists are popping up right now where you can watch all of our archived episodes. Or if you want to see new ones, make sure to subscribe because they premiere at 7:30 a.m. Pacific Standard Time every single Monday. Hope to see you guys there.